Hello, everybody. Happy to be here.
We love you, Brendan. We love your hair. We
Thank
love
you.
your activism. We love your logical consistency. And we're going to love your response to this person with whom you had dealings with in the past, right?
Yeah, I reacted to one of his videos, and all he commented was thanks for the exposure or something, or thanks for the video or something. So, yeah, from what I've seen, he really doesn't care about, and like he doesn't care. He just cares about what he's doing. He doesn't really care if he's right or if he could be doing things better or what. He just wants to go on the internet and just say whatever he wants to say. So I don't know what
Well,
this will accomplish, but it'll be really entertaining for us. So I'm excited.
sure thing. I don't know if we always have to accomplish something. I mean, waste of time is important sometimes, just to have fun.
That's true. That's true. And hopefully, maybe some people who are considering or are watching him will watch our video and they'll say, wait a second, those are some good points. Maybe I should rethink this.
So you don't think that veganism is bullshit, do you, Brandon?
I don't think veganism is bullshit, and I'm excited to see what kind of lies he thinks, or, what kind of vegan lies there are. So I'm excited. Maybe they are lies, but I have a feeling they aren't. So we'll see. I haven't watched the video yet.
Yeah. So we are well situated to react to this video. Brandon deals with carnivores like a lot, right?
Yeah.
That's your hobby. And my hobby slash activism is not dealing with, but spying on homesteaders. So
We got a double
that'd be
whammy
interesting.
today.
Sorry?
I said we have a double whammy today. He's a homesteader and a carnivore.
Yeah, that's why we've gathered here today. All right, let's go.
Going to debunk some vegan BS. My name is Carrie, and
So can everybody hear both this person and us, by the way? Can everybody hear Brendan?
Hello, hello.
Well, if they haven't heard you so far, I bet somebody would say something. All right.
I am down over 100 pounds since my heaviest. Eating a proper human diet for me, that is the
I mean, congrats. I think that's important. If you want to lose weight, it's good on you. It's really hard to some people to lose weight. So I always appreciate the effort of somebody putting up a goal and then reaching it. It's very nice. Unfortunately, animals have paid for this transformation needlessly because I haven't lost this much, but I lost a lot of weight lately. Now I've gained it back a little bit because I can't do any sports, but I mean, holy shit.
Yeah.
Could have done it different. There is another way.
I was gonna say, yeah, you could lose weight on almost any diet. It just some are like more conducive, some are easier to follow, stuff like that. So like, because I think he went from eating he went from a sedentary lifestyle, eating a bunch of processed foods, like, and in this case, they're simple carbs, high calorie, high saturated fat processed foods. So if you're over consuming calories and you're pretty much sedentary, yeah, you're gonna put on a lot of weight like he did, and he could have lost the weight on a plant-based diet as well. There's nothing like specific about a carnivore diet that is like better for weight loss. Furthermore, we don't even have any studies on that, even if that could be the case. So yeah, I don't understand this idea of like, oh, I lost weight on this diet, so therefore this diet must be the best. That's not true, right? You could lose weight on many different types of diets.
Well, that's not the only thing he claims, Brandon. He also claims that it's a human appropriate diet. What
Well,
do you
that's
have to say
yeah,
about
that's a
that?
whole yeah. He goes into a lot of baseless claims about the carnivore diet for sure. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's cool he lost the weight, but how many animals' lives, how many animals, do you want to be exploited just so you lose 100 pounds? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
carnivore version of a diet. I overcame a lifelong battle with depression,
Nice prop. Nice prop.
anxiety, brain fog, insomnia. I was diagnosed with IBS, sleep apnea. I had arthritis so bad in my foot I could barely step.
Did you know sleep apnea doesn't actually go away once you lose weight? It's there forever.
Interesting. I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know anything. I don't know too much about sleep apnea.
Yeah. There isn't a treatment for sleep apnea. I mean, it could get better, I guess, if you lose weight. But if you got it, you got it.
But I mean,
down on-
the symptoms he's describing are just symptoms of being obese or being overweight. Like, trouble sleeping, arthritis, what do you say?
IBS.
Anxiety, mental
IBS
health
is not
issue.
really-
Yeah, maybe the IBS, but you know, like a lot of these things probably would have been resolved had he just lost weight eating plant-based. He didn't have to just eat nothing but meat.
Yeah. I mean, I had stomach issues when I stopped drinking alcohol. My colon went awry with all kind of bacteria that it wasn't all of a sudden I wasn't getting the food that it's or the drink that it's used to, right? So beer was my choice. So the bacteria there went absolutely awry.
Wow, interesting.
And holy shit, I didn't have to eat a steak-only diet
Right.
to resolve it.
IBS, sleep apnea. I had arthritis so bad in my foot I could barely step down on it. I had my gallbladder removed, my appendix burst.
I mean, the gallbladder thing, it's a result of a animal heavy diet or fat heavy diet at least, right? So
On the operating room,
now that it's actually kind of, I don't know, not a good idea to eat fat heavy diet, I think.
I was thinking that, yeah, because the gallbladder, its main purpose is to help with fat digestion. Is that right?
Yep.
So most people don't need it because most people shouldn't be eating a high fat diet, but he's eating probably like what percentage of calories are coming from saturated fat or just fat in general? Probably what, like 30, 40, 50%, something crazy.
Well, Chafee claims 80. So.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but but yeah, so yeah, that's a good point. I wonder how that would work.
Yeah.
room table, I had skin cancer on my ear, and
Skin cancer.
Yeah, I don't know. There's, again, he's going to be making a lot of claims that he doesn't provide any evidence for. They're just anecdotal, right? So as far as I know, there's no dietary change you can make. I haven't looked at all of the skin cancer research, but from what I'm aware of, there's no dietary change you can make that can cure or combat skin cancer.
But it's worse than that. The claim is that skin cancer came from his diet, right? He gained, like he had skin cancer because of his diet, right?
Well, he's not explicitly saying that, but he's kind of wording it in a way of, when I was eating the way I was eating before, I got skin cancer, and now I don't have skin cancer. So yeah, he's kind of wording it that way a little bit.
Yeah. We could be, I don't know, he could be mixing stuff up. And I did listen ahead, and he does mix stuff up a lot.
I'm excited.
So, you could be.
I was diagnosed with a TIA mini stroke. Subsequent
Brandon?
Yeah, I don't know what do you say, TIA mini stroke? I don't know what that is, but again, just losing the weight, like losing the weight will have really positive impacts on your health, right? So the over 100 pounds that he lost could be still, like, the positive effects of that could still be in his life, regardless of the diet he's on, right? It's going to be probably a couple years until he, like, you know, the negative effects of his current diet catch up, because that's a lot of weight. Like, it's a crazy transformation. So that's going to improve your health. Yeah.
So TIA is transient ischemic attack.
Okay. Sounds bad.
Yep, it is. It's not nice.
Subsequent testing later showed I had congestive heart failure. I was on.
And then you run towards a diet that has the most increased risk of, I don't know, CVD and stuff like that.
Yeah. So so if you already had congestive heart failure, now again, he's just saying stuff, so it's hard to know what's true or what's not. But if you had congestive heart failure, the weight loss will help for sure. But I mean, that doesn't go away, right? You still have, you know, plaque in your arteries. You're still going to have whatever you have going on with your heart, and a high saturated fat diet, high cholesterol diet is not going to help with that, just based on the research. But they usually deny research, so I don't know.
I miss Patrick. He would have said something here that would have been profound. Patrick couldn't be with us, unfortunately, today. He can't be with us next week either, when I'm going on Brandon's channel, and we're going to react to something similarly interesting.
Yeah, stay tuned for that, everybody.
All sorts of heart medications and statins, and I've had an irregular heartbeat since birth. I just hit 500.
You had irregular heart since birth. I mean, that means congenital. Sorry, that means hereditary, right? A diet can't change that.
Well, he said he had an irregular heartbeat.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much that influences like heart disease, but yeah, it could be. I mean, genetics could be at play here for sure.
Yeah. It could be, I guess, exacerbated by a diet or somewhat suppressed by a diet. It can't be fixed by a diet.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
100 days, 500 on a carnivore diet has changed my life forever.
500 days on a carnivore diet.
That's like a year and a half, more or less.
Yep.
So.
Do you think he's well, it's here in 3 months. Do you think no? A year and a half. Yeah. Do you think he's gone through the diarrhea phase already?
Well, again, I mean, the weight that he lost, it had to take him at least, 3 to 6 months to lose that weight. So, I mean, if you think about it, for the first 6 months, maybe longer, again, I'm just speculating. So for the first 6 months or longer, he was losing weight. So again, as you're losing weight, like there was a guy who went on the Twinkie diet and he lost weight the entire time. Like he lost weight by eating nothing but Twinkies and his health markers improved, right? So that doesn't mean Twinkies are an optimal diet. It just means that weight loss has a really positive impact on your health. So if he's losing weight almost the entire time he's on the diet, then you're really not going to see any negative health impacts. Now, he probably had to deal with like the issues you have when you change your energy source from carbs to fat. So he probably had to deal with those symptoms. He probably did have to deal with some diarrhea stuff. But again, if he was having so many problems before, it's hard to, like we're not comparing somebody who was eating a healthy plant-based diet and then went to a carnivore diet. We're talking about somebody who was really unhealthy prior and then switched to nothing but, probably like, I don't know, grass-fed cuts of meat, which again, may have been better health-wise than what he was eating before. But
yeah,
again, it's all focused on diet. Like this really, I find that the people who are really dead set on the carnivore diet really don't like talking about ethics. They don't like talking about moral positions or anything. They say it's a proper human diet, doesn't matter. So yeah.
So it's going to be interesting what he has to say about veganism and how we lie about what, I wonder.
Yeah, it's probably
Do we lie about ethics?
No, it's going to be all diet claims probably.
Yeah, probably.
I am on 0 medication. Bye-bye to all of this medication.
It's just so corny, this prop.
Yeah,
Sorry.
with the prop.
I no longer have depression, anxiety. In fact, I would have given anything to just be normal. I am the opposite of whatever hopeless and suicidal depression and anxiety is. I am thankful, grateful, blessed. I am full of gratitude, and I am happy to be alive every single day. My life is 1,000,000 times better on a proper human diet. And this is...
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, that's cool that he feels
Yeah.
that way. It's just, you don't have to, like, exploiting animals is not, like, that's not a good justification to exploit animals, right? Like, I hear claims all the time where someone's like, well, I struggle with a eating disorder, so I can't go vegan. It's like, okay, so your personal struggles should not affect your actions on others. Like, if chopping up babies cured my depression and anxieties, I'm not going to do that just to do it. I'm going to try and find another option. So I understand, it's hard because exploiting and eating animals is legal. So it's still legal. So obviously, like, if somebody's struggling and they're looking for an answer, they're going to go through every, like, legal means of getting that first. But if we think about, like, if we take a second to think about, okay, our actions beyond what's legal, right? Obviously, there's a lot of things that are legal that may be immoral or we may choose not to do. He could have found a better solution than the carnivore diet or the proper human diet, whatever that means.
He could have gone calories in, calories out. That's how I lost weight.
To lose weight?
Which entails replacing calories from one origin to calories from another origin based on the food's satiation index for yourself. Like, not index is the wrong word here, because you're basically like going by what satiates you, right? And it's somewhat universal, like if it contains a lot of fiber and if it contains a lot of protein, those things are going to be more satiating, I guess. But do you know if he's doing OMAD as well or something like that?
I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, I hope he says, because usually carnivores go to OMAD as well. And if you eat one meal a day, it's really hard to overeat, like incredibly hard, right? But I have to address this human appropriate diet thing, right? Because that is indeed a lie. No matter how you look at it, it can. First of all, there is not one human appropriate diet, right? People throughout our evolutionary span ate all kinds of shit, ate all kind of variations of all kinds of shit. But even if there was like a point in time in which we only ate meat, we only ate this, I don't know, like specific, I don't know, 80% meat thing, right? Or ruminant meat, right? Because carnivores usually go towards ruminant meat. Why would that mean that it's a human appropriate diet? That would just mean that that's what we ate at that time. It could have been beneficial. I don't know how you would know that. I guess you would say, well, we became what we are today through that. Well, there were so many other factors, like, for instance, viruses made us what we are today, right? They embedded themselves into our DNA. Would it now be a good idea to expose yourself to as many viruses as possible?
Yeah, or the environment that you were in, like people with darker skin were in sunnier environments, people with lighter skin were in colder environments. It doesn't mean you should just be out, like it doesn't make a difference. But what's it called? I was gonna say, like, if the carnivore diet is the proper human diet, right? We should be able to see better health outcomes with larger with more meat consumption, right? And what they always say is, well, it's because they're not eating only meat. It's because they're eating meat with buns or meat with this, right? It's like, okay, then how come when we take the meat out, there's better health outcomes, but when we add more meat, the health outcomes get worse, right? So like, you should be able to see, right, like reasonably, that if eating red meat, right, fatty red meat, increases health outcomes, is the proper human diet, we would see better health outcomes, and we just don't. Right? We'll say what you want about epidemiology, but just reasonably, like intuitively, right? If you're saying that X is better for your health, you should see better health outcomes when X is consumed, and we just don't. We just don't see that, and they don't have any evidence for that. So like, they're just. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, Brendan, I would say, well, there was no study on 100% carnivore diet. Well, that's the point.
Right.
If there are no evidence, like the time to like actually consider to go on a specific diet is when there are evidence for it, right?
Well, also, a lot of people won't do it because it's like unethical. Like, considering the evidence we have supporting whole grains, legumes, fruits and vegetable intake, a lot of people will not do the study. From what I've heard, I've actually heard researchers say that because because we know it leads to worse health outcomes, right? For obviously, we don't know for 100%, but, there's very strong evidence supporting that it leads to worse health outcomes, increase your risk of chronic diseases, of cancers, etc. So, yeah, I just find it very silly when people use the cop-out of, well, we don't know for sure, or, well, all these studies are bought. It's like, okay, that's fine. But if you look at people who are consuming more meat, right? It doesn't lead to better health outcomes. It just doesn't. So I don't...
Oh, but it's not grass-fed, grass-finished meat.
Right. That's what it is, yeah.
There is actually a study, isn't there, comparing the consumption of just regular run-of-the-mill grain-fed beef, feedlot beef, and grass-fed, grass-finished, and it's a fuck all difference between the two. I think especially because it's just a ruse. It's just not correct. So here's my homesteading learning comes in. So if you just take a cow and put her on pastures, right, for however 22, 24 months, and then you slaughter the cow because you're an idiot, you fucking piece of shit, and then you take that beef, it's going to be incredibly lean, zero marbling, basically, beef, because the cow is moving, right? They're wasting those calories. So real grass-fed, grass-finished institutions, they lock cows up to actually get any kind of fat content in that beef. They put them in pens and then don't let them move around for the past, 3 to 6 months or whatever, right? Just to get them to slaughter weight and to get that weight to have actual fat.
Yeah, I think people forget that the meat that they're used to, the cow flesh, the pig flesh, chicken flesh, that's not what like a bison would be, or like a wild animal at all, right? These are animals they are treated and they are genetically modified in a way to produce tastier, right? You know, cuts of animal flesh, right? So I think people forget that it's not like a lot of the reason why meat also tastes so good, right? To some people is because there's been a lot of work done modifying the palate or modifying the cuts of meat.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. So grain finished cow is also going to be penned. It's going to be fed also to get them to slaughter weight. It's just going to happen a little faster. But the thing is, the two cuts of meat are basically going to be incredibly similar. There might be like some kind of difference, you know, because the way we eat sometimes changes our smell. I don't know why it wouldn't change how we taste, right? Mm-hmm. How meat tastes. So it's probably going to be a difference in flavor, but it's not going to have much difference, at least in fucking fat composition. Fat composition, fat composition is going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, or nutritional content, like how much more nutrient dense and bioavailable does it get when it's grass fed versus you know factory farmed. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Again, nobody's actually presented any evidence for any of this, so it's just gibberish, kind of.
It's especially not that it's a human appropriate diet.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Human appropriate diet. Why are you taking the cue from I don't know, even if that's what happened, from people who 100,000 years ago and not from people 10,000 years ago when we started agriculture?
Right. And again, even if you want to, like, again, for people who want to question epidemiology, do you think that at least the controlled studies that we have are at least a little more accurate than going off of bone samples from cavemen hundreds of thousands of years ago, which we have no real, like, we really have no way of tracking that appropriately? You know, like, their hierarchy of evidence is really skewed. You know, like, they just want to believe what they want to believe, even if it makes no sense and the evidence they provide is just all over the place.
You want to speculate for a second? So I was going to bring up the fact that even Sean Baker doesn't want to do the study because he made the GoFundMe. He got about $200,000 from that GoFundMe. And now he's like been telling for a while now that he's about to release a case study series, which is also known as like it's free. It's free to do case studies.
Yeah, and those are just anecdotes also. Like case studies is like one step up from an anecdote.
Yeah. But the question is, right, my question to speculate about is, what measurements of health would he use? I mean, the LDL goes up, ApoB goes up on carnivore diet. I don't know, what else? HbA1c might go up, it depends on your genetics.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it would probably be like a few month-long study showing that there's no increased risk of heart disease or something. But we all know that heart disease takes years to develop. So it's going to be something like that. Something with, it's going to be something that's really stupid. Like, it's going to be something in line of, we brought in 50 carnivores and anecdotally we asked them questions and then we check their blood and everything's good. It's like, okay, great. Yeah, it's going to be something really silly. So I don't know.
Something more silly than a case series for $200,000.
Here's the thing. I don't think they care about doing it because the thing is, what's his face? Not Sean Baker, the other guy, Chafee. Anthony Chafee is getting massive donations on Twitter and on streaming, giving diet advice. Sean Baker's doing fine. He's got tons of subscribers. He's getting tons of views. That's the problem with this is regardless of the science, people still are interested and they follow these people and they give them money. So they don't really need it. Like they don't unless you have like a real strong pursuit in science, which we know these guys don't because otherwise they wouldn't be following this diet. I don't see the motivation. Like I don't see why they would. They're making plenty of money just fine.
Yeah.
This is the way it should be for everybody. In today's video, I want to...
Wait, so everybody should adopt the carnivore diet or everybody should be happy? Because
he's saying everybody should be like pill-free, happy, mentally clear, which, yeah, I mean, that would be great. But there's also other factors besides diet. Like, you can't just say that. There are people who struggle with things besides just diet-related illnesses. So it's kind of messed up to be like, well, I feel great. You should feel that way too, you loser. It's like, don't put others down. They have other issues, you know?
Yeah. Sorry.
I want to talk about some crazy, insane vegan BS. And I just want to say real quick, I love vegans. I love vegetarians. I love all humans. I love all of humanity. I especially love vegans and vegetarians that are compassionate and they're doing it for compassionate reasons. However, the truth
Wait a second.
matters. And
Hold on. So he recognizes that there is compassion within vegetarianism, veganism, right? Obviously veganism, but so he does acknowledge that there is compassion. So what's his position? So okay, so if our position has compassion in it, what does his position have compassion? Does his diet have compassion? Because if so, that seems a little contradictory. I don't know. So that's interesting.
He kills animals. He kills animals.
Right.
So
Right.
what else?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird claim that he just made.
Yeah. I have a hypothetical brewing in my head. I might bring it up later.
Okay.
I will only speak the truth and I will forever speak the truth. And that's why I can get on this video I'm doing right now and I don't edit, I don't prepare. I'm not looking at notes. I have a couple of vegan arguments here, comments that I'm going to read, but I didn't even prepare for this. That is the power of the carnivore brain, and that is the power.
Wow, you've got no notes and he speaks the truth. He's a superhero.
Oh.
Of telling the truth. I'm just going to subconsciously tell you what's on my mind.
Wait, he's gonna subconsciously tell us how? Hold on. I don't. This guy isn't as smart as he thinks. He's like, I'm gonna telepathically tell you what's on my mind. That's funny. Yeah, maybe he should have taken some notes. Maybe he should have scripted it a little bit.
That's the power of the carnivore brain.
And I don't have to think about it or manipulate it or even edit it because I'm speaking the truth. Now, the first argument I get, and I get this one every single day from vegan, vegetarian, plant-based people.
Oh, here we go.
You would have done all of that healing you mentioned. You're not on your pills. You're down 100 pounds. You would have done all of that, Carrie, had you just eliminated sugar and processed foods. And to those people, I say,
wow,
good argument.
Fantastic rebuttal. Also, it's not really the sugar and processed foods. I mean, you could eat sugar and processed foods. It's the weight loss, right? It's really the weight loss. And yeah, I mean, I don't see how that's like, we don't know, right? But I don't see how trying that first would have, like, if you lost the weight, he probably would have had great health outcomes. Probably long-term better with a plant-based diet because it's science supported or evidence based. But yeah, I don't think is a good like rebuttal to that claim.
And by the way, I wouldn't, I don't know, I don't want to represent all vegans. I wouldn't say just eliminate processed foods and sugar.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I wouldn't say that either.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, technical difficulties. Wow, you got the classic bars too. That's like classic.
One sec.
Hello, everybody. Take your time. How's it going, everyone? I hope you're enjoying our reaction so far, and I'm very happy to be here. I can't see the chat. I used to have my phone next to me, but now I'm using my phone as my webcam, which works pretty well, surprisingly. So I can't see the chat.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
All good. Is your camera like did your camera battery die or something?
Yeah, that's the problem. I have just a regular video camera. I think I need to disconnect and reconnect. I think you're gonna be okay with that?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know how. Hold on.
All right, everybody. Looks like it's just you and me.
No camera. Still. Hold on. Nope. Shit. Hold on.
I'm just reading the chat here. Somebody said the power of the carnivore brain is literally fart noises? Question mark. Hello, Pig's Dream. Hello, Bianca. Hello, Efrendo. Yeah, the color bars are classic, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Bianca, I agree. They always do say they love vegans. They always start with, I love vegans. How's life as a married man? It's more or less the same. I would say it's pretty sweet, but it's it's more or less the same.
I need to
Yeah, guys, for those of you watching, I am going to be doing a stream later with Julia at around 6:30 Eastern time. So we'll be doing a stream talking about our wedding. It's her 5-year vegan anniversary was back in, I think it was early August, but we had the wedding, so we didn't do it. So.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Jesus, you couldn't hear me for a second there either. Jesus Christ. All right. Share. There you go. Fuck. I'm so sorry, guys. I hope you didn't panic too hard. It is the camera that I'm using. It's not like a webcam or something. It's just a like a really expensive camcorder. It just runs out of battery and I need to connect it. And I don't like leaving stuff connected all the time because it kills the battery.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Anyways.
Well, really we're happy to have you back.
Thank you. So we got over, we were told subconsciously a bunch of stuff. It was, but I hope he has more to say.
I can only hope.
Yeah.
False. First of all,
I mean, I also would say false. You can have processed food and sugar part of your weight loss diet. That's what I did.
In the words of Patrick, any food can be part of a healthy diet.
In fact, some UPFs, I increased some UPFs on a weight loss diet because it just was more satiating to me to eat seed oils that I didn't eat as much before. But
yeah, and also cutting out sugar or processed foods doesn't automatically lead to weight loss. He could cut out sugar or processed foods and still gain weight or still not lose weight. So yeah, it's really the weight loss that he needed. It's not like a specific food that he needed to cut out.
And that's the unfortunate thing that can't sell books, right? It's just saying calories in, calories out, and replace non-satiating food with a lot of calories with satiating food with fewer calories.
Yeah.
It's just not sexy. It's not the human appropriate diet, but it's an evidence-based diet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see why it's false. I mean, it is false. So we agree, but I bet he has something more profound to say about it.
Of course. Getting rid of sugars and seed oils and highly processed foods is a huge part of the equation. And I agree with
maybe.
Yeah, again, there's no evidence to support the seed oil claim. Again, this claim of like the seed oils is what causing all these health issues. There's no evidence for that. If anything, when you replace butter, beef tallow, lard with seed oils, you get better health outcomes. So again, I don't know what this is based off of.
But here's the thing: he equates health outcomes with losing weight, which is conditionally true, right? You by losing weight, you improve your health outcomes, right?
Yeah.
But then, I mean,
once you lose the weight, you still have long-term disease to worry about. Stroke, heart disease, cancer. Like, obviously, losing the weight is great, but he's young. He's got to be in his 30s, maybe early 40s, but he's got no gray hair yet. So, he's pretty young. So, he's still got a lot of life to live. And if he's going to spend the next 20 years eating a high saturated only meat diet, I mean, I can't wait to see some of these carnivore influencers when they are reaching their 50s and 60s and 70s, if they even make it that far.
Yeah.
Vegans and vegetarians, if you're able to do that and eat single ingredient foods, even if they're just vegetables.
Why? Why would somebody eat a single ingredient food? Why?
Yeah, well, it's this idea that like if it just says beef or it just says broccoli, therefore it must be better for you or it's going to make you healthier, which isn't necessarily the case.
How fucked up do you have to be to consider that eating one food is better than eating an array of food?
Yeah, like, where's the line? Like, okay, if you buy a salsa, okay, and in the salsa there's onion, tomato, pepper, whatever. is that all of a sudden a processed food? Like, is that all of a sudden not count as a single ingredient? Like, that's silly. That seems silly to me. So I don't know. Yeah,
I kind of don't know what salsa is.
Oh, salsa, like tomato salsa? Like what you dip chips in? Oh my God,
I'm not
what?
an
You guys
Amer-
don't do
I'm not
salsa
an
over there?
American, dude.
Oh my
I'm not
God,
an
wait, whoa, guys, hold on now. This is a whole new, you understand what guacamole is, right?
Yeah, that's avocado with lemon.
Yeah, and like there's like
without-
peppers, tomatoes. So like this is tomato salsa. So it's imagine guacamole, but it's only tomatoes with like onions and peppers. It's awesome. I can't believe you've never had tomato salsa. Okay, if we ever meet up in real life, I'm gonna bring some tomato salsa. You have to try it. You've never had salsa? Is that not a thing in like Europe?
I'm not in Europe.
Oh well, okay. Well,
Well, it could be in Europe. I don't know.
That's so interesting. Okay, all right. I've got to. That's crazy. You've got to try some salsa at some point.
I mean,
crazy.
European people also eat salsa.
I don't know. I'm in America. I don't know. I know. So salsa is like a Latin American, it's now Americanized here. So like you can buy salsa everywhere. But I think traditionally it's like Latin America or South American. But yeah.
And you dip your chips in.
You dip
What's wrong
corn.
with
You
the
dip
people?
corn chips in it.
So here's the thing. That I'm a bit weird. Me and sauces don't speak to me as much as other people. I like my food on the dry side. It's kind of weird, I know, but
No. Here's the thing. I'm not a saucy guy. Like I like food on the drier side as well. Like if there's too much sauce on something, it makes me a little nauseous. I'm not a big fan of it. But salsa is like chips and salsa is like amazing. I can't believe you never had it. All right. You've got to find some. And
I guess it cuts down calories. If you eat chips and salsa together, you eat less chips and more. Like it's low calorie, right? Salsa.
And salsa is low calorie, but you end up eating more of it because the salsa is so good. Like the salsa is so good that you end up getting more and more chips just to have the salsa.
There you go. You just proved the point that just cutting out UPFs and sugars wouldn't necessarily decrease calories in. And
Right.
therefore wouldn't instigate necessarily weight loss.
Yeah,
Because you would eat like a lot of low-calorie food.
Right, that's true. Although the chips part isn't okay. I would need salsa by itself. So, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, you can. I don't know. There are like calorie-dense non-UPFs. So
Yeah, like potatoes.
Meat is not considered to be UPF. It's incredibly calorie-dense.
Yeah, like or potatoes. If you eat a lot of potatoes, it's going to be hard to keep your calories low enough to lose weight.
Yeah. I'm going to get hungry.
Vegetables, that's 1,000,000 times better than the majority of humanity eating processed garbage on the standard American diet. It's a part of the equation. But I get these people and they're saying it. They're so convinced. That's the only.
Because it's the truth. You don't have to go on a carnivore diet to lose weight.
He's kind of, I don't want to say he's like, this is an overused term, but he's kind of gaslighting people. What he's saying, like, these people come in and they're so convinced that what they're saying is right, but no. It's like, okay, but that's what you're doing. Like, that's literally what you're doing, except the people who are like, now I don't know, I can't speak for any specific claims, but the claim that you could have lost weight and improved your health on a plant-based diet, that is evidence-based. That's not like, we're not just saying that, right? There are studies that show good health outcomes on a plant-based diet. So we're not so convinced. We're just that's where the evidence is. So there's no evidence for the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
And again, morally, like, I'm not going to go outside of my moral values just to try something. I'm not going to kill a human and drink their blood just in case. Maybe it'll give me a boost of iron or something. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Alpha Karos, I have to address your point once more. I have to stop everything and address your point. Yes, potatoes are a high-calorie food because for 150 grams, which is a tiny potato, which is about the size of my fist, like small, half the size of my fist, they're about 250 calories. So for a person like me, eating a small potato, it's come and go. If I'm in a period of losing weight, I would go lower on potatoes and higher on things like tofu, which is more satiating and has more protein and other stuff, and it's less calorie dense. So yeah.
Pig's Dream said VPM lives on the moon, and for some reason, I can kind of picture you as like an astronaut or something. Like, I can kind of picture you like living on the moon. That's kind of funny. That's really, really funny. I don't know why that like is like really fitting for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know why. Is it because I'm a badass?
Maybe, yeah. Or also like your background's usually it's like blue and kind of like spacey. I don't know, but it's like perfect.
Wait, what color is it on? It's orange, isn't it? On Mars?
On Mars, yeah, Mars is
On the
orange.
moon, on the moon. This time I'm claimed to live on the moon. So what color is it? Like light blue?
Yeah, like that's perfect. Wow, that's like, that's it.
That's technology, mate.
You're in space now.
The only reason it is not. The reason I know this is because I know my body, and I know my body more than you do.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. This is it. So he doesn't provide any actual evidence for why a plant-based, he couldn't have done this on a plant-based diet or even on an omnivorous diet. All he says is, I know my body.
What the fuck does that mean?
Look,
what does
look,
it mean
look.
to know your body? I also know my body. You can say I know my body intimately. What the fuck does that mean about a fucking diet?
Look. I know my body. And when I say I need your child's feet, I need to grill your child's feet and eat them right now. I'm telling you, I know my body. Don't try and tell me that that's wrong or that I don't need to eat children's feet. All right? I do.
And how is his body different from my body? If your body needs meat, why does my body doesn't need meat?
Yeah, well, there's this, they like to make this claim of like, well, not every diet fits every person. Like everyone's different. But again, if you look at patterns in nutritional science, that's really not true. Like, yes, some people might have food intolerances. Some people might have allergies. Some people might prefer different foods. But what leads to good health outcomes is pretty much the same. You know, whole grains, legumes, fruits and vegetables, primarily plant-based, if not only plant-based. So yeah, that's just such a weird, that's such a, like a, I can't believe that these people think they're like correct or they're being like honest. Like that's such a crazy thing to say. I know my body. Don't try and give me any studies. I know my body, and my body needs tons and tons of animal flesh. That's so weird.
And think of the implication of this, right? I know my body, so I know how my body is going to react to a diet that I'm not on.
Right. That's also
because
because he's
if my
never
body
tried it.
tells me you can't go on this diet, right?
Right. Because yeah, he's saying he knows his body, so he doesn't even try it because he knows it's gonna go. Like, how do you know before you even try it? Also, you could justify it like, I know my body, I need 3 bumps of cocaine every single day. Otherwise, I'm just not going to make it through. It's like, what? There's no evidence. Like, what are you talking about?
Yep. My body really knew itself when it was smoking and drinking.
Right.
Really needed it.
You were following your, what do they call it? Your, not instincts, but what do they say? They say like, children when they eat when they eat meat.
Instinct.
Yeah. You're following your instincts. Yeah. That's so stupid.
Every time I lit up, I followed my instincts. My body was telling me.
You were craving it. You were following your cravings.
Yeah.
And I have studied this, and I've talked to experts, I've talked to doctors, and I have tried every diet in the world. The reason I know that it's not true is because...
Was he on a non-meat vegan diet?
I don't know. I would be curious. My guess he probably was a raw vegan, if I had to guess, but because again, based on his diet patterns.
Yeah.
But I like when people say I've talked to experts. Okay, Sean Baker, Anthony Che, are these the experts you're talking about? Did you talk to a like credible college professor who teaches nutrition and is fully plant-based? I don't think so.
Doctors, and I have tried every diet in the world. The reason I know that it's not true is because for 1 year prior to doing a carnivore diet, I did a strict ketogenic diet, and it was mostly plant-based. Salad for lunch, salad for dinner. I had all the low-carb vegetables, and I had no sugar.
Okay, so he did a keto diet, plant-based. Okay, I mean he
said mostly. It's probably yeah.
But that's hard. That's really hard to like. It is harder to do a plant-based diet keto. So if you're eating nothing but salads, I mean, that's kind of what are you just eating lettuce? Like you're leaving out.
Keto is definitionally high fat, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean just. Maybe not definitionally. I mean, it's low carb, but if you replace carbs, your protein kind of stays the same.
Right. You have to if you're taking out carbs, you're replacing it with fat, pretty much. Yeah. Because that's your energy source. But I just want to know what he was eating. Like that seems you're leaving out all of the health promoting foods, whole grains, beans, fruits. Like you're leaving out a huge chunk of health promoting foods.
Look, I mean, cucumbers are fucking amazing, but you can't eat that much of cucumbers, right? You can eat 1 or 2.
Right. He's just eating bowls of cucumbers being like, yeah, I don't know, man. This plant-based diet isn't doing it for me.
Fun fact, cucumbers, if I overeat them, which happens sometimes because I fucking love cucumbers, they give me reflux. It's like the only food that gives me reflux.
Really? That's interesting.
It's not that high. Just gives me a little bit of burn here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Never like to a point where I need to medicate or something like that.
Right.
Salad for lunch.
I guess my body is weird and different.
Right. Based on your reflux reaction to a lot of cucumbers are bad. Cucumbers are unhealthy. It's not part of the human diet, the proper human diet.
We should eat a steak, Brendan, because cucumbers are bad.
Salad for dinner. I had all the low carb vegetables and I had no sugars and I had no processed garbage. I cut all of that out. I did that for a year. I still had depression. I still had horrible IBS. My stomach was always hurting. I was farting 500 times a day.
Well, dude, if you're eating nothing but salad and vegetable, I mean, that's a lot of fiber, which you're probably not used to. And you probably weren't eating enough calories. Like, you still got to eat enough to feel good.
I bet he's omitting a huge amount of animal products, Brandon.
Probably.
Yeah. But also, like, nobody promised you that your diet is going to fix the depression or IBS.
That's true.
Just take antibiotics, dude. Just use antibiotics to get rid of IBS. Like, I guess not get rid of IBS. You can't get rid of IBS, can you?
I'm not familiar with the science, but yeah, I mean, you could treat your symptoms other ways. You could treat your symptoms through diet. You could treat your symptoms through medication. But again, there are plenty of people who struggle with IBS or Crohn's and eat plant-based. Right? Lifting Vegan Logic is a great example. He's had Crohn's forever, and he does it fine because you just go, you find out what works.
Yeah. Oh, and Bianca says, no, antibiotics don't work on IBS. They rather cause it. Interesting.
Gurgling, bubbling, acid reflux. I had depression. I had brain fog, and I had arthritis in my foot without eating sugar.
Did he lose weight, though?
I don't know.
The keto? We'll see.
And processed junk food. I tried it, and it didn't work for me. I know, without a doubt, getting rid of sugar and processed stuff is a huge part of the equation. But what really did it for me was...
But this is a straw man. This is a straw man. I don't know. Like, maybe there are vegans somewhere out there that say if you reduce UPFs and sugar, then you're gonna be fine, right? I don't know any who says it feels like a straw man.
Well, he's making an assumption about like plant-based diets, based on like some comments. But when we're talking about because we're not even talking about vegan, we're just talking about plant-based diets here. I have not heard any like evidence-based plant-based nutritionist or dietitian or any researcher recommend cutting out all sugar or cutting out all processed foods. I've never heard that, right? I know that there are some that are really heavy on whole foods, like Dr. Greger or something like that, but Dr. Greger promotes fruits, right? We should be eating carbs, right? So there's nothing, so again, he was following a diet that is not supported by the science. There is I haven't seen any good research showing that, yes, you get better health outcomes when you cut out all sugar and when you cut out all processed foods. I haven't seen that. And if there is a study like that, please, I would love to see it. You know,
this is where I replace Patrick and say, there are some ultra-processed foods that are actually good for you.
Yes, that can lead to better health outcomes. And again, the ultra-processed thing, it's more like it's fear-mongering. Because again, you can have like something made up of 15 different ingredients, but all those ingredients are health promoting, high in fiber, low in saturated fat, that would be better for you than just eating beef, which is the one ingredient food that's magical, you know?
Yeah. And aren't there UPFs that are like one ingredient? Isn't my pea protein just one ingredient? Fucking pea protein isolate?
Yeah, that's a good point. That is also I don't know the differentiation between processed and ultra processed, or if they're the same thing. But that would be a processed food, pea protein. Yeah.
Yeah. And it just to reiterate, it has amazing health outcomes because you take in protein in its most bioavailable form, and it is in most bioavailable form because it's liquid, right? And you don't take in anything else with it. No calories, extra calories, except for the calories of protein. Well, there is a little bit of fiber and carb in there, right? So a little bit of carb fiber, so a little bit more calories, but no sat fat. Amazing.
Yeah.
It's just good. Just good.
Was eating the fatty meat. People don't like to hear that, especially vegans, vegetarians, but I will speak the truth. There's people out there that are hopelessly suffering like I was, and this was the key. Not just eliminating sugar.
I mean, again, just going from one meme diet to another, and then achieving some goals, right? We're not going to erase the goals that he achieved. He lost weight, As a result of losing weight, he overcome a few things. As a result of making a mono diet, he overcome his IBS. Probably it's just nothing triggering his IBS. If he like goes back to, I don't know, not eating a mono diet, it's probably, he hasn't cured IBS, right?
Right.
Sounds, I could be wrong, but sounds like he's a relatively new homesteader, right? So he changed his life, his entire life. Moving to a homestead, it has some benefits, right? You were kind of in nature. You spend some time with animals, and animals are like amazingly soothing to people, right? Ask the people who are participating in like horse therapy. Not that it's moral, but it happens. The fact that the horses are there, it's beneficial to lift depression, to have a good mental health outcomes. So he is strongmaning, right? And not only that, not only does he say, well, I tried these 3 diets, let's say, right? One is just a standard American, probably. One is like a low carb keto, and one is the carnivore diet, something about fatty meat, right? Just eating fatty meat and nothing else, mostly nothing else. Well, you haven't tried all the diets, so you can't say that you know your body.
Well, actually, per his words, he said
if I can finish. And B, you can't extrapolate it to the entire population, right? So
100%. I was going to say, per his words, he's tried every diet in the world. He did say that. He said every diet in the world he's tried, which obviously we know that's not true. But yeah, I don't. What's so interesting is, if you call them out and ask for evidence, they say, no, this is just my experience. This is just my anecdote, right? It's my experience. But then in their video, he says, I know this without a doubt, okay? If it's an anecdotal experience, right, you don't know without a doubt, right? Even researchers, even people who conduct studies on like large studies, long-term studies, don't know without a doubt, right? So you're telling me that you know without a doubt that all of these things are true, and then at the same time don't provide any evidence supporting your truths because it's just your anecdote, right? So which is it? Do you know for 100% fact, or is it only your experience? Because it can't be both, right? It's just not adding up. I'm not confident in that.
Yeah. And this thing is, he's now making himself into a hero, somebody who's trying just to cure people.
He's like,
right?
I know there are people suffering out there, and I'm going to speak. He sounds like a politician, kind of. He's doing this thing where it's like, you can trust me because I speak the truth. It's just like rhetoric.
Yeah.
Sugar and processed foods, eating the fatty meat. I believe I was deficient in cholesterol. I believe when I ate that fatty meat, it.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. Like, this is what I'm this is, you almost get a glimpse of like, okay, this is like a normal anecdote. And then they say stuff like that, which like, okay, this isn't just a normal anecdote. You're making claims that make no sense and aren't supported by anybody ever. Show me one legitimate researcher or study that would tell you could be deficient in cholesterol. It doesn't happen. It's not a thing. Your body produces the cholesterol it needs. You don't need dietary cholesterol.
It's just so strange. It just feels like there's like a fort made out of fallacies, and one fallacy leans on another fallacy, right? So there's this fallacy that we need cholesterol to live, which is true, and therefore we should eat cholesterol, which is a fallacy. So you go to that fallacy, and from that fallacy you go, well, cholesterol is actually good for us, right? Over that, just like it's you need some amount of cholesterol to survive, right? But no, actually, it's good for us. And then you go to a diet that is the largest in cholesterol, because I bet he eats eggs, and then so the fallacy is then a dose, right? If you need a certain amount of cholesterol, then surely more cholesterol is better. And because I didn't have more cholesterol, the most cholesterol, I was cholesterol deficient. Is there a test for, I guess there is a test for cholesterol deficiency? Is there such a thing?
No, that's the thing. As far as I know, like maybe there's some kind of birth defect or genetic condition or something, but as far as I know, again, your body produces the cholesterol it needs. So you do need cholesterol, but I've never heard of anybody like not being able to, or like needing to consume cholesterol. Maybe they have some kind of medical intervention if you have issues with it. But yeah, it's not a dietary intervention. And also, they make a lot of assumptions. Like you said, they'll start with, oh, your brain needs cholesterol to function. And then they'll go from that fact to, so we need to consume tons of cholesterol because the more cholesterol is better for you. You know, like they'll go from a basic fact to then assuming because we need cholesterol in some form, therefore consuming it can't be bad for you, which just isn't true. That's crazy. That's like me saying, hey, we need water, so chugging 4 gallons of water should be fine. That's not true, right? You can have health outcomes or health consequences from drinking too much water, right? These things have to be studied.
Yeah. So there is such a thing as I Googled hypolipidemia, which is not a problem usually if most people have hyperlipidemia. And what causes that? A rare disorder that runs in your family, malnutrition, not eating enough, not eating enough healthy foods. So I guess like very, very low calories would cause hypolipidemia. Malabsorption, your body doesn't absorb enough fat. And then eating more fat, I guess it would if you eat like the most amount of fat, it doesn't matter how low your absorption is, you absorb more, like increasing more. Anemia would cause thyroid issues and liver disease, some type of infection like hepatitis C, severe illness or injury, or cancer. All those things can cause hypolipidemia, but it's something that needs to be diagnosed, and your body is going to be incredibly fucked up.
Right, like all the causes of hypolipidemia seem to be really bad. Like you either have to be starving or have some kind of liver condition or something, or genetics, which you'd find out pretty early on. And the thing is, when we look at the entire population, the concern is hyperlipidemia, is having too high cholesterol, which leads to heart disease. The hypolipidemia is not a concern.
For most people, true.
Yeah.
So this article is from WebMD that told me all the things that would cause hypolipidemia. The first thing it says, high levels of blood cholesterol can raise your risk of heart attack and stroke.
Yeah, there's like a disclaimer being like, hey, don't worry about this. You worry about the other thing. Yeah, it's
But also, how can you know that you are hypolipidemic?
You wouldn't. Yeah, you can't feel that. That's the whole point. Is he's saying, I believe I was cholesterol deficient. Just on that claim alone, we can just shut the video. Like just on that claim alone, if somebody hears that, they should be like, oh, okay, this guy's a quack. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. That's crazy. He's acting as if cholesterol is an essential nutrient, and it's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna trigger a lot of people and eat a fucking cookie.
Go for it.
Raised my cholesterol. I believe that I was misled my entire life to fear cholesterol, and I feared it. I had congestive heart failure, as I mentioned.
Wait. You feared cholesterol, but you were hundreds of pounds overweight, or over whatever. I forgot the weight loss, but you were overweight or obese. You were eating processed foods and animal products, but you feared cholesterol. I mean, there's a difference between fearing cholesterol and actually like doing something to avoid it. So yeah, you might have been afraid of it because you knew it was increasing your risk of heart disease. And you had congestive heart failure. I don't know. So I don't really understand what his point is.
I don't either. This is kind of one of the problems with those diet hoppers. I call them diet hoppers. Someone who hops from one diet to another. Everything is so generalized. Nothing is specific. Right?
Yeah.
Even when he talked about his keto experience, he was talking about the tiniest portion of his diet in calories, and he omitted the bulk of his diet. He wasn't talking about all the high fat stuff he was eating, right?
Yeah, and nothing is accurate. Nothing's accurate. Nothing's tracked. There's no diet logs, and they criticize food frequency questionnaires. They criticize epidemiology that actually goes in and tries to track food as possible. Then when they give their anecdotes, they're like, yeah, I was eating all the vegetables and all of the salads. And it's like, okay, do you have any data? Do you have any logs? Nothing? Oh, okay, I'll just take your word for it. Crazy.
fuck, I have my entire weight loss journey is logged, and it's going to be logged again, because right now, because I'm injured and I can't really cook, I can't really lift, even walking sometimes is like too much. I know it's because of the finger. It's kind of weird, but the finger really like destroyed my praxis. So I do less and eat more like opportunistically, right? So I gained weight. But in a little bit, when I remove my finger disability, I'm going to go back on a diet, right? And I'm going to log everything.
Yeah. No,
So right
chronometer.
now,
I track everything.
Chronometer, and I can show you what I ate on a diet on which I lost a lot of weight, not as much as he did, but a lot of weight in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. No, I literally track everything. I can go into chronometer and I can pull up what I ate. And if there are gaps in between days, it's because I ate the same thing every single day. So like I can show you what I'm eating at least more reliably than I guarantee most of these carnivores who said they went vegan or who said they, did a different diet. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So now when he's talking about
Your life to fear cholesterol.
He's talking about fearing cholesterol. He doesn't say when he feared cholesterol, right? Supposedly it's before his keto diet. Like how difficult it is to do a keto diet, even a vegan keto diet, without consuming cholesterol.
Well, he's trying to frame it in a way that like when I feared cholesterol, I actually got heart disease. Now that I don't fear cholesterol, my health is improving. That's what they do. They frame it in a way to where like the problem, the cause of heart disease is not consuming it, not consuming cholesterol or fearing saturated fat. And that's just not true, right? But he's framing it that way. But what's it called? He was most likely, if he was, when he was overweight, he was most likely consuming a high saturated fat, high cholesterol diet. But there's
and probably high sugar, high calorie, right?
Right. But there's other factors when it comes to health, right? It's not just cholesterol consumption or just saturated fat consumption. There's genetic factors. There's your lifestyle, whether you're sedentary or active. There's the amount of fiber you eat, the amount of antioxidants you get from fruits and vegetables. There's like so many things. So just like, let's just say his cholesterol intake wasn't that high, right? Or his saturated fat intake wasn't that high. He could have other factors influencing his health in a negative way. Being overweight, right? If you're overweight, you can, I would assume you can eat a lower cholesterol or lower saturated fat diet, but still have worse health outcomes. So yeah, I just don't know what he's saying, dude.
I would also need proof that he doesn't have heart disease right now, because as we are familiar with the carnivore community, they do have heart disease. They just disregard it as bullshit.
Right. So, they're like, yeah, my cholesterol is 500, but it's cool because cholesterol is not bad for you. It's like, okay, well.
Well, he could say, I didn't have another TIA or I didn't have another heart attack. Well, that's an acute event as a result of your heart disease,
of long term, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And I feared it. I had congestive heart failure, as I mentioned earlier. Had an irregular heartbeat my entire life. Much of this medication was heart medication, so I didn't want to clog my arteries. When I got that fatty meat, my hormones balanced. My testosterone.
Did he get a blood test? Does he have a before and after blood test? Does he have anything to support that claim?
But what do hormones have to do with heart disease? Is there even any kind of a connection? I'm not sure, so I'm asking actually.
No, I think he's saying that the lack of cholesterol was leading to a hormone imbalance.
Oh,
and the thing is, so I am from, and I could be wrong. Again, I will say I don't know without a shred of a doubt, so I could be wrong. But I do believe that you do need a healthy level of fat intake in order to, for your hormones. I have heard of people having hormonal issues because they weren't eating enough fat and enough calories. That's also a big thing. So if you're not consuming enough fat or if you're not consuming enough calories, you can have hormonal issues. But that's not the cholesterol, right? Oh, what is that?
Vitamin D. Every time somebody makes hormonal claims online, I remember to take vitamin D.
Okay. So yeah, that's the thing is, to say anecdotally that after you ate more cholesterol, your hormones balanced and he's about to say his testosterone shot up. Was there a blood test? Do you have the results of before and after? Or are you just going off of how you felt? Because last time I checked, it's hard to feel your hormones balanced. I don't even know what that would look like. So yeah, I don't know.
I have a hypothesis. I think there is a lot of correlation between being an American and being on a carnivore diet. Could it be that it costs a lot of money to take blood tests and go to doctors and stuff like that, and that's why people like turn to alternative facts about health outcomes and stuff like that?
I mean, it honestly is. So I checked, even if you do so, because I think if you have insurance, some of it's included. But even if you did a private one, so I was gonna do one actually. I probably will. I'm lazy and I don't want to do it. I also don't want to spend the money. But it's only like $30, between like 30 and $50, which is, I mean, it's not cheap, but it's reasonable. It's reasonable. Yeah, it's not like hundreds of dollars. It's literally like 30, $50. They check your cholesterol, they check all your markers. So if you're really interested, like clearly this guy's very committed to fixing his health. He could have done that, right? But I truthfully think, again, at the end of the day, they don't really care about what's actually true. They care about what they think is true. And that's it. That's how he's able to...
It's literally feelings over facts.
Right. Yeah, no, literally, yeah.
When I got that fatty meat, my hormones balanced. My testosterone went up. My sleep improved, which is a downstream.
I mean, losing weight would shut up your testosterone, wouldn't it?
I haven't seen the research, but I would guess so. When you lose weight, almost all of your health markers improve. So,
except if you go on carnivore and then your lipids are gonna get more. No,
but even with that, I don't know if while you're losing weight, I don't know if your cholesterol would be higher. That would be interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like once you are in a caloric deficit, maybe cholesterol just goes down.
Right. Just because you're in a deficit and you're losing weight. But once you balance out, then yeah, your cholesterol's going way up.
Yeah.
Effective balanced hormones. My mood improved. My depression lifted.
It's so amazing what losing weight can do to you.
Well, according to him, it's so amazing what eating a piece of fatty steak will do. Depression cured, as if people who eat fatty steak don't have depression. Everyone who eats fatty steak, they're all happy and overjoyed.
I can't avoid adding in my own anecdotes in, because that's what we're dealing in, right? We're dealing in anecdotes. The thing is that I don't extrapolate my anecdotes on anybody else. But frankly, truly, even though I do have like external things that I can't fix, right? But generally, I'm the happiest I've ever been. So I just think there's just so much muddied. It's just such a muddied situation. There's just so many confounders that you can't claim that all this happened because you all of a sudden started eating fatty meat.
Yeah, and you can't possibly know that. Like especially in his claim, I know this without a doubt. You can't possibly know that. Yeah. That's crazy. Just that language tells me, okay, this guy is somebody you should not listen to. Right? If anyone's using language of, I know this without a doubt, or this is a fact, or I'm speaking nothing but the truth, then you know somebody's already coming from like an emotional place and not actually after the science or the actual truth.
Yeah. And it is a fucking tragedy. It is a tragedy that I really want to like address in a way that I don't know, could be beneficial to some people, but I can't find a way because it's like just straight up, as I said, it's just a house of cards and every card in there is a fallacy. So how do you demolish that? It's impossible. I really want to like interview an ex-carnivore, maybe.
Yeah, that would
just
be cool.
Just know what got them out, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably the doctors telling them, hey, your cholesterol's too high.
Yeah. Bianca is telling us to move the fuck along. All right.
Brain fog went away, but I believe it was tied in large part to my hormones and getting the fatty meat that my body was craving, and then thriving on. That was what
my body was craving smokes for 25 years.
Yeah, I love donuts myself, so I guess I should just eat donuts.
My body was really craving. Every day when it hit 9 p.m., my body really craved 5 beers. Really. Must be good for me.
Right.
Jesus Christ. That's the biggest fallacy, right? Taking this habit, basically, and saying that it's a craving. Because like if you eat oats for a month, just plain oats with nothing on it, it's going to be disgusting the first few weeks. After a month, you're going to be like, oh my God, I want them oats every fucking morning. That's how it works. You get used to something, even if it's kind of disgusting at first, or kind of strange because it's like the first time you're trying it.
Yeah, but also things that do taste really good, you're still going to want to eat them even if they're not good for you. Chocolate, cookies, donuts, like obviously you could eat everything, every food could be part of a healthy diet, but obviously, you know, just because you like the taste of something doesn't mean that you should only eat that thing. That's crazy.
Yeah. This craving thing is just cringe. I have to create like the whole of cringe and add craving in there. And I know my body in there as well.
I know my body.
Didn't we start that kind of thing? Brendan, I think we started something like that a while back. Like a list of things that people say that are absolutely fucking meaningless.
I don't remember, but we should do that. That's funny.
Yeah. I'm going to add it after I don't remember what the list is, but I'll find it and I'm going to add this craving and I know my body in there. And one day we're going to do incredible amount of fun going through that list.
What was missing was the fatty meat. It wasn't just the absence of sugar, it was also the addition of the fatty meat. And I get this comment all the time, and I firmly disagree with you. And the reason I'm so firm and passionate about it is because there are people out there that are suicidally depressed, like I was. Most of my
Isn't that what the Liver King is saying?
Yeah. So
the Liver King took steroids because there are people out there
yeah.
that are depressed.
Oh my God, that was so silly.
Taking steroids didn't help Liver King, but he continued taking that because other people are also depressed.
Well, so no, the way that he worded it was, you know, because he got caught lying about steroids, and he said, look, I know I got caught. I know I lied. I'm sorry, but I did this to I'm trying to raise awareness for men's mental health. I'm trying to make, so like he turned himself into a hero. Like, guys, it's okay that I lied to make money off of all of you because I'm trying to be a role model for men and their mental health. If anything, taking steroids and lying about it would worsen men's mental health. You're giving them unrealistic standards. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're not a hero. Get out of here.
Yeah. This thing, I know this because there are people out there depressed. I'm passionate about it because there are people out depressed. We'll first prove that this is the only diet that can cure depression. And then let's go.
Yeah,
let's
sorry. Are
cure
you
depression, right?
Right. Are you a clinical researcher for mental health issues? Like, do you do this? Like, are you in the field of mental health and depression? I don't think so. So who are you to like give advice to people or give solutions to people that you know nothing about?
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Farmers. Farmers also act like this, right? I guess he's a kind of a farmer. He's a homesteader. They say, when you ask a farmer, well, do you like killing animals? Some of them are going to be saying something completely psychotic. But most of them are going to say, no, of course not. It's a bad day when I send animals to slaughter. And then you ask them, well, then why are you doing this, right? Why are you doing this to the animals you love, you claim to love? They say, I feed people, right? So it's a fucking fallacy. They say, I feed people, as if there is no other way to feed people. And we need this hero who breeds, tortures, and kills animals to feed people, right?
Well, I'd say it's kind of like a red herring. Like you're directing the conversation to a point that has nothing to do with the main question, right? So they're saying, hey, why do you disagree? Well, I disagree because there are people out there struggling. Like he talks like a politician. Like, and that's the same thing with farmers. Like, to try and avoid the consequences or the effect of their actions or the implications of their actions, they have to turn themselves into a hero, right? They have to say, well, I'm doing this to help humanity. It's like, no, you're not. There are other ways to help humanity and animals. You don't have to do that. So yeah, it's really interesting. Like human psychology is really interesting. Yeah.
Adult life. This was the only thing that did it for me. And I don't want to.
And therefore, everybody should go on a carnivore diet to cure their depression.
Right. Yeah, it's silly.
Please, evidence, please isolate it the way we do it in science. Isolate eating fatty meat from all other external, confounders. And then, let's go. Let's print fatty meat. We can soon do it kind of morally, more morally acceptable than, slaughtering animals. I don't know.
Mislead these people to just say, just get rid of the sugar and only do that and you'll be fine. I'm sure it'll help, but it's not going to fix the problem. At least it didn't for me.
I mean, like losing a huge amount of weight when you don't like your weight and you lose that weight. That's like maybe half and maybe all the battle against depression. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, you like yourself.
Look,
All
when
of a
I
sudden, you're okay with yourself.
yeah, I got to a really good weight from before my wedding, and I was feeling real good. I was like, nice. I was like, I got some abs for this. I was like, perfect. So yeah, that also helps. Like the image, if you look good, you also will probably, that'll help your mental health.
And boy, did you look good on your wedding, if judging by the pictures. Holy
Thank
shit.
you, thank you. That suit is cool, right? I love that suit.
That was an awesome suit. If somebody doesn't know what I'm talking about, please go to Logical Consistency's Instagram.
Yes.
Or,
I made a post
you
about it.
post
I did a post
yeah.
on YouTube. Yeah, you should see some
So
photos. From the
post on
wedding.
YouTube with some photos. Holy shit, it's pretty.
Thank
Brendan is very, very pretty.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Right. I have to add some flirting.
The second argument I get from vegans that I want to debunk: vegan BS. How can I massacre animals? I have blood on
Oh,
these
here it
hands.
goes. Wow,
I'm a
ethical.
terrible,
All right.
terrible human for being.
Here it goes. Let's see what he says.
What are your guesses?
It's going to be something about proper human diet. It's going to be something, well, I do this because it's the only way to live healthy or something stupid.
Yeah, I'm with Tone. I think it's going to be crop deaths.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's probably true.
And then I'm saying it right now. And then if he says, well, my diet only kills one cow.
I could eat
because it's
feed
a
off a
homestead.
how for one whole year. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I'm going to go on the biggest rant, and I'm going to try to make it short, about 10-minute rant on how many animals are killed on homesteads. So get
ready, everybody.
Preparated, yeah.
For animals. I have blood on these hands. I'm a terrible, terrible human for being a carnivore and eating meat, and these vegans are superior to me because they only eat vegetables. To that, I say, more vegan BS. Now, you can say one thing, but the facts matter and what you're doing matters.
Agree?
This is the truth, and it's going to be uncomfortable for people, but it's the truth.
As if it's the first time where vegans ever hear this.
Yeah.
There is no more compassionate diet than the way I eat.
Oh my God, yeah. So that's my favorite is when I talk to people on the street or something, and they're like, well, have you ever thought about this? And I'm like, no, I haven't thought. Yeah, of course I've thought about this. Really? Like I'm on the street with a sign, and you think I haven't thought about every single rebuttal or argument?
Yeah, and I think I was correct. It's going to be 1 cow a year, and then switch to crop deaths.
Yeah.
Some carnivores, maybe not so true, but that's not what I'm advocating for. I am advocating for eating locally raised, grass-fed, grass-finished beef that's humanely raised, and it's eating grass in a field, and it has a good, long life. I eat 1 cow, I get hundreds of meals.
Yep, there it is.
Hundreds of meals. So it sounds like he's definitely all mad, right? 1 meal a day.
Could be. Or he could just be saying he gets like many meals out of a cow, but
yeah.
You
mean he's generalizing again, right?
Right.
He's not specific, right?
Right. Yeah, he's not putting a number on it. He's just saying hundreds of meals. Okay, in a field of soy, I get hundreds of meals. So what are we talking about? But yeah, that's
So shall I begin the rant?
Yeah, go for it.
How do you say that word, please?
Rant.
There, I said.
Perfect.
How do I usually say it? Usually I say it, okay? All of a sudden I broke the word.
No, you're fine. I think you're overthinking. Yeah, if you think you're overthinking it, you're fine.
Yeah. First of all, that's an incredibly privileged position he's advocating for, because homesteading is incredibly expensive. Raising grass-fed, grass-finished cattle is incredibly expensive. It's like one of the most expensive ways to eat or to raise food in the fucking world, and that includes, I don't know, like raising swans or whatever the fuck.
That's a great point. Really quick on that. That's a great point. He's essentially saying, oh, I'm doing it the most moral. All you have to do is buy land, buy all the animals, pay for their medicine, pay for their care, pay for their slaughter if he doesn't do it himself, and then you can eat. It's like, okay, people who live in cities, people who live in heavily populated areas, people who are lower middle class or near the poverty line, that's not possible. So what are we talking about, right? I think people forget the reason why factory farming was invented is because it's efficient, is because it's supposed to maximize profit and maximize cost, or like lower cost. So yeah, duh, no shit. If you do it that way, it's better than maybe factory farming. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. So it's incredibly expensive. I can tell you, I don't know what the percentage is, but the vast majority of homesteaders are still having their day jobs. So they work their day jobs, then they come home, they continue working on their fucking farm, right? And still the expenses are fucking incredible. All of them are saying it's basically an incredibly expensive hobby, right?
Right.
Very little of them actually even break even if they sell like on markets or whatever, right? To other plonkers who think this way of eating is the best way. But most of them pay an incredible amount of money, and they will all say that it's for things, this cringe things, taste pleasure. I know what goes into my animal, they say. Give them the best life with one bad day, they say. And it's incredibly unattainable unless you like a heritage farmer or heritage homesteader, or are fucking loaded, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them of homesteaders are like computer engineers and stuff like that. So people who get a huge amount of money for the job they're doing, you know. And most of the time, both spouses work. Kids are kind of getting enslaved into it as well, like to help out, whatever, indoctrinated into this way of living.
Right.
So that's one. Rant number two. So many animals are killed as as the result of them being kind of in nature. That's like about half the posts in the subreddit that I frequent to. Right? How do I get rid of this pest? How do I get rid of this carnivore who's trying to steal my chickens? How do I fence up this herd of goats so that they don't run away? Right? There's a vulture, there's a raccoon, there are mosquitoes, there are flies, there are whatever the fuck. I would claim, right, that factory farms actually kill less animals like in the environment because it's not in fucking nature.
Right. Yeah, not counting the crops grown. Yeah, factory farms are, yeah, because when you're trying to give a large space for animals to roam freely, you have to protect them from the other things in that space or clear things out from that space. So yeah, it's probably very similar to crop deaths.
Yeah. Point number 3, actual fucking crop deaths, because grass is fucking harvested.
Mm-hmm.
No cow is out there for 24/7, 365.
Especially in the winters. That's what I hear.
Yeah. In winters, you're gonna harvest food for them for the winter. And by the way, alfalfa is considered to be fucking grass, right? So sometimes it's especially grown for the point of feeding these animals in the winter. And if he likes, point number 4, if he likes fatty meat, but he doesn't want to grain feed them, he locks them up for a very long period of time. Those animals don't end up on pasture, at least for 3 months, 3 to 6 months. Those animals are going to be inside eating harvested food.
Which is also fucked up because you're keeping them locked up. Also, it's an added level of cruelty. But I don't understand. What I just don't understand is this idea of, like, well, this action impacts or kills animals, so therefore I'm just going to kill and exploit animals directly. I don't understand that logic, right? Like, I just thought of some examples, right? It's like, imagine there's a war going on, right? And this war, there's war happening to defend your land or something, right? And you're choosing not to fight in that war because of ethical reasons, right? You say, oh no, I don't want to fight in the war. I don't want to kill any, I don't want to, kill a lot of people. But I'm just going to kill one person at home, right? So you're at home and you kill one person at home, and somebody says, hey, you didn't go fight in the war, and instead you just chose to shoot someone in your house when you didn't have to. You're like, yeah. No, I didn't want, my lifestyle, my choice is more ethical because I just shot somebody in my living room versus the soldiers that are fighting over there, they're shooting 3 or 4 people. Like, this logic doesn't make any sense. Like, if we're going to talk about crop deaths, we're also talking about home building. We're talking about road building. We're talking about human presence, right? Yeah. Like, imagine, oh no, I don't drive a car because I don't want to be responsible for road building, but I'm just going to shoot someone in my living room. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, sure. Human presence on the planet sucks. Like, we really do, like, we're like a parasite to this planet for sure. right? But so is every other animal. We just have a lot of us, and we have really powerful tools and technology to do whatever we want. I wish people made more ethical choices when it comes to the environment, when it comes to our impact on animals in other ways. But that's not a justification for a normalized exploitation and abuse of animals. That's crazy. That's crazy thinking.
And that's point number 5, actually. Extrapolation of even the morality of a diet or a lifestyle onto the entire population. What happens if we extrapolate his diet on the entire population?
That's a great
point.
And
what happens if we extrapolate the vegan diet on the entire population?
Mm-hmm. It's got to be practicable. It's got to be practicable. And that's the thing is, you know, a homesteader carnivore diet is not practicable. And we're talking about a lot more animals being killed.
Point number 6. Usually carnivore dieters don't like antibiotics and vaccines and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That is actual animal healthcare. That's basic animal welfare, to give animals antibiotics, vaccine, medicine, things like that. So I bet he has some casualties just through sheer incompetence as well.
Right. No, dude, I just don't understand how you're paying to own another individual, right? You're paying to enslave other individuals, and you think that's more ethical? You think that's more moral than growing crops that animals die as a result of? Like, how can you possibly, like, but I would say that crop deaths suck, but you know, and obviously animals dying, yeah, maybe there's some immorality there. I wish that didn't happen. But it's clearly the more moral choice. Like, I don't even know how we're having this discussion than even enslaving one person in your home.
Yeah, it's just fantasy. It's just like a rack of lies, extrapolating one on another. And like, you really like, he's saying, oh, don't fall for these vegan lies. But his entire worldview is just one huge lie. And I would even claim fucking delusion, because he knows how many animals he kills by being on homestead. He fucking knows.
And to your point, or I guess to this whole conversation point, he doesn't have just one cow, right? He has multiple animals, because some are going to die, some are going to get sick. He's probably going to sell some or pass them on to some other people. So again, any homestead I've seen, it's tens of animals. We're talking 20, 30, 40, depending on if they have chickens, if they have goats, if they have cows. I've never seen a homestead where they have one cow and they're like, well, if the cow makes it, then we get to eat them. If they don't, then oh well. You know, like, that just doesn't happen, because it's money, right? It's all like trying to get the bang for your buck with this lifestyle you've chosen, because you're not viewing them as individuals.
So lately I have, there was one carnivore coming into the homestead in some subreddit, talking this exact shit. I want to raise a bunch of animals without raising plants. Just animals, right? Homesteading, or animal only homesteading. I don't want to give them antibiotics. I don't want to give them medicine, and I don't want to give them vaccines. How about I do that? And I need a constant supply of meat, right? So basically, they have to stack animals one on top of each other, right? They buy every couple of months. They have to buy an animal to start raising, so that they don't run out of food. And point number 7. I'm sorry, I have to say it. Do you know how huge his freezer has to be if he kills a cow, right?
Yeah.
For food. Do you think that freezer doesn't have fucking crop deaths?
Vegan, on the other hand, that has their salad with their multitude of different ingredients, and they're eating all colors of the rainbow, and they have all of this variety, all these different types of vegetables. 70 million birds die per year. Per the EPA, Google this. Don't believe me. You Google it yourself.
Google it.
From pesticide poisoning. That is a slow, painful, agonizing, horrible death that these birds go through. And that doesn't count all of the squirrels, fox, and deer that also come in contact with that pesticide and then get poisoned from the inside out and suffer a horrible death. Or the predators that eat those birds that have poisoned bodies and are then dying, or they scavenging for them, and then they die as well from pesticide.
Want to know how many homesteaders use traps and shit?
Probably a lot. And also, again, saying Google it is not evidence. So
yeah.
I feel like if there was a peer-reviewed article or an environmental article, he should be able to link that. So I don't know why we have to Google it.
Yep.
Monocropping.
Because it's a subconscious mind fuck.
Right. He subconsciously provides evidence.
Biduk.
Going through fields, just tearing up the soil. There's all sorts of death and destruction, so these vegans and vegetarians can eat their meals, and they act like they don't have any blood on their hand. And the truth of the matter is, many, many multitudes more of animals.
Like, I think every vegan admits at this point that yes, our food kills animals.
Right, but again, it's not just food. That's what I don't understand. Like, people say, oh, why don't you stop exploiting animals? They're like, oh, well, why don't you, your food kills animals too. Okay, so does building homes. So does building roads. Nobody ever brings that up, right? Nobody ever is like, well, you got to stop driving. Like, human presence is one thing, but animal enslavement, exploitation, abuse, and murder is a totally separate thing.
Yeah. I'm just trying to address the claims.
Right.
But I'm really happy that you are here providing the actual vegan context to it as well. So I appreciate it.
No, of course.
Animals die because of a vegan diet than a compassionate carnivore diet like I do. That is just the truth. You can argue all you want about it, but the facts matter. You look in the grocery store, there's 60,000 products.
And I think I provided some facts about what homesteading looks like.
In the grocery store, I eat like 5 of them: beef, butter, bacon, eggs, a little bit of chicken here and there. 5 products.
Chickens.
Okay.
Chickens need supplemented food always.
Beef, butter, bacon, eggs. Okay, so now you have dairy cows. So you have meat cows, you have dairy cows, you have chickens, you have egg-laying chickens, you got meat chickens. So we're talking way more animals. So he's not just, that's, and again, I'm assuming, because chickens are grain-fed. So you've got the crop deaths from the grain. So what is he talking? He just debunked his own claim. That's silly.
I mean, chickens can be mostly pasture, whatever raised, but they really need supplementing food, especially in the early years, according to homesteaders. So everything that I'm regurgitating is according to homesteaders. They need very high protein nutrition.
But also he said at the grocery store. So also like, he's not just homesteading, he's also buying food at the grocery store, which is the shipping of the food, and it's the crop deaths, and it's all those things.
Yeah, it's another delusion. Homesteaders, well, actually, most homesteaders are not very delusional. They know it's not self-sufficient. They know it's the fucking bullshit. They know most of them still buy food from outside, and most of them buy feed.
Right, they treat it like a hobby, which is a whole, that's even worse. If you're like enslaving animals as a hobby, that's just, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Products. 59,995 products on the grocery store are plant-based products. If it's in a box, if it's in a bag, if it's in the produce section, everything.
No.
That's not true at all. There's plenty of processed meats. There's plenty of processed dairy products. What are we talking about?
Oh, Hades here. Hades. I missed you. Every time I'm like, oh shit, something's going on. I'm like, where are my carnivore dieters to tell me to eat a fucking steak? Or in case of Hades, to convince me to eat his brain. Where are you? Where have you been? Well, because brain is made out of cholesterol.
So oh my God, you're getting it directly from the source. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Bye-bye cholesterol
in the grocery store, the
deficiency.
ketchup.
Sorry.
No, I just said bye-bye cholesterol deficiency.
Yep.
Products. If it's in a box, if it's in a bag, if it's in the produce section, everything in the grocery store, the ketchup, everything comes from plants. Sugar.
I mean, ketchup, yeah. The one example, yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
Container of sugar. Well, that comes from a plant. It's all plant seed oils, these horrible vegetable seed oils. Those
Not the seed oils.
Also, he said these horrible vegetable seed oils. Vegetable oils and seed oils are two different things. Okay, so you could have a vegetable oil that, again, they kind of all group them in together, but I don't think they're the same thing.
Well, what do you mean? Like the best health outcomes come from the olive oil and the canola oil. One is a vegetable oil, the other one is seed oil.
Right, that's true.
So they're kind of the same.
No, yeah, in terms of outcomes, but I'm talking about in actual thing. When you say vegetable oil, vegetables aren't the same as seeds. Like, you can't categorize, you can't group them in together just because they're oils other than butter and tallow.
Yeah.
Come from plants too.
And they have good health outcomes, amazing health outcomes, especially if you replace your fatty shit, your saturated fat coming from animal products with rapeseed oil or olive oil, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, technically Hades, it is fruit oil.
They all come from plants. The amount of death and destruction to produce the 59,995 products you vegans eat is huge, but it gets a complete pass. And a little bit of cow and beef that I eat on the sides and fish, that's getting all of the blame. All of these.
Oh, well, there's fish as well.
Oh, he's like, but a little bit of, he's like, keeps adding more animals. He's like, a little bit of kangaroo and raccoon and deer that I eat over here. It's like, how many animals?
This is the problem. He doesn't write down anything, right? He doesn't track anything.
No, he doesn't need to. The power of the carnivore brain. Inconsistency.
The subconscious brain.
Yeah, subconscious. God, that's so funny.
Boxed and bagged.
I just laughed so hard when I heard it the first time. And the second time, it was amazing as well.
Products. Think about these. All of the pesticides that kill the animals so that you can get those plants. Then you have all of the semi-trucks that have to drive those that produce from Mexico to the United States. Then it goes to a processing facility.
And how do most people eat? Can most people be homesteaders?
Right.
No.
And he said he goes to the grocery store. So those also have to be shipped.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think there is like more than 10 cows in the US who are like pasture-raised dairy cows, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Seriously. There's maybe like one place.
That's got smokestacks coming out of it. They're processing this. They're putting it in bags and packages and all this crap. 10 million
That happens to your food as well, apparently, if you go to the grocery store.
ingredients we can't pronounce. Then they ship that in a semi-truck
You can't pronounce it, therefore it's not healthy. Sorry, I'm in speed dating here.
No, yeah.
that's polluting the earth, and it comes to the grocery store. It sits on the shelf. Half the stuff gets thrown in the dumpster. The other half of it gets taken home. The person eats.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Like about 33% of food is being thrown out. Not in supermarkets usually. It's usually on the side of the consumer. The consumer over consumes, and then the food goes bad and he throws it out.
But the issue here is none of this has anything to do with veganism. Yeah, I agree. These are production issues. These are big issues that we need to solve. 100%. The crop deaths, the transportation emissions, the wasting of food. 100%. I agree. These are big issues. What does that have to do with the ethical principle that we should not be enslaving, exploiting, abusing, and murdering animals? It doesn't, right? Those are two separate things.
Yeah, it's an absolute strawman of the vegan position.
Right.
Alin Kuster says the hydrogen monoxide is hard to pronounce, therefore water is bad. Yeah.
Half of it, the green stuff goes bad. The vegetables, the produce, the salad in the refrigerator, that gets tossed in the garbage. All of that waste, all of that destruction, all of the animals that had to die to give you those 59,999.
So
Where's he getting this number from?
Live like me. I don't know.
He's just making up a number.
Yep. But like, the living in town is bad. Therefore, you should be rich somehow and move out to live in a homestead. And everybody does that. It's totally not gonna fucking destroy.
We don't have enough land. If everyone in cities wanted to get their own land for homesteading, we wouldn't be possible. We wouldn't have enough land.
No.
Products all gets a pass. And my cow that's naturally grazing in the field that has a long life, it dies a humane death, and I get hundreds of meals for it.
Oh, dies a humane death. Yeah. A knife to the throat or a bolt gun to the head is very humane. Yeah, sure. Just avoid talking about how you kill them. Yeah. I also like how he says dies a humane death. He doesn't say they get killed humanely. They say die. He says dies a human, as if they die from like natural causes. Yeah. Again, it's crazy.
It's fucking delusion. It's fucking delusion. Like every time somebody says a humane death, I ask them, would they take their place?
And also, these issues don't get a pass. I don't know who he's talking to. They don't get a pass. We're not saying, yeah, fuck it. Who cares how many animals die in crop production? Yeah, who cares how poorly or how badly the environment is impacted by agriculture? Nobody's doing that. This doesn't get a pass. It's just not a justification to exploit animals. That's all.
Yeah.
Massacring animals, but all of the birds dying and all of the fox and squirrel, all the downstream effects, the water runoff of pesticides into the water system, and animals drink it, they die horrible, painful death.
The pesticide runoff happens for crops that are raised for animals to eat.
Right.
And
yeah, a lot of the issues he's saying actually is due to factory farming. Because a lot of crops are grown and a lot of land is used and a lot of pesticides and a lot of transportation is for animal agriculture. So a lot of, I wonder how many of those 70 million birds is actually due to animal agriculture and not just crop agriculture. If that statistic is even true, because he didn't link anything.
Yeah.
Runoff of pesticides into the water system, and animals drink it, they die horrible, painful death. That all gets a pass because I'm vegan and I say I'm better than you. It's not true.
Oh, there it is. There's the emotions right there.
That argument I get, cows are bad for the environment. Now, a kindergartner with some common sense.
Oh, kindergartner. A kindergartner with some common sense. Yeah, because all of these empirical claims, all you need is common sense. You don't need evidence. You don't need facts.
I'm trying to remember. Like, I think only a couple of days ago, I read just a little bit of a paper, right? It's a LCA, so life cycle analysis of farms, cattle farms specifically, that use biofuel. Biofuel means like repurposing manure as a form of creating electricity, right? So even in that fucking paper, right, they say there is a difference between about I think it was 800 milliamperes per year, something like that. There is a substantial difference between a farm that uses just run-of-the-mill electricity from the grid, and a farm that uses its manure as biofuel. There is a difference in greenhouse gas emissions. But most greenhouse gas emissions are from the existence of cows themselves.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah,
It
that's
says
so silly.
in that
Yeah.
paper, it was probably, the LCA company was probably hired by fucking farmers. And it still says most of your problem is just from raising cattle.
From the breeding of the cows, yeah, to begin with. Yeah, no, it's a great point.
Could understand that is utter BS. No pun intended, utter. A cow naturally grazing in a field, eating grass, is the most natural thing that's happened since the start of...
Do you know anything about regenerative farming? Because I think that's where it goes.
No, I understand the idea that by them grazing on the land, they eat the grass, they poop it out, it helps the soil, and it goes so on and so forth. So I get the idea, but I haven't seen any evidence or any papers on it. But again, he just appealed to nature. So eating grass is the most natural thing. So why aren't you vegan if eating grass is so natural? Okay, so for humans, eating meat is the proper human diet, but eating grass is the most natural thing that's ever happened. All right, whatever.
Time. Cows have been grazing in the...
No, it's not, Hades. No, it's not. We now have non-bullshit science about it. I'm just not as knowledgeable about it. You can't be knowledgeable about all the bullshit that's being thrown at us as vegans. You can be knowledgeable only about some things. But no, it's not. It doesn't absorb CO2 at the same rate or higher.
Fields since the start of time. But that is somehow bad for the environment.
I mean, that could be true if they were like each cow was on like take 10 acres of grass. Maybe. I'm just guessing here, but it's about as much of a guess as your proposition.
You look around, you go up in an airplane, what do you see? Fields and fields of corn. Cornfields everywhere. Fields.
And whom are they fed to usually?
Yeah. Yeah, no. Again, his whole thing is he's sidestepping the whole industry of animal agriculture. He's just talking about homesteading, but he's forgetting the fact that a lot of those crops that we see are fed to animal like industrial agriculture. So it's kind of silly.
It's not even like most of it is not even to cattle. Most of it is to chickens, I think.
Right, chickens, yeah.
I have seen the numbers, but I don't remember them now. It's been a while.
The vegetable.
That's why we needed Patrick. Patrick could have probably told us something about this regenerative bullshit he's about to go on a rant about. I don't know.
And produce and corn, and all of that gets a pass. If you look at the earth, this much corn, then there's this much little cow grazing in a field. It's all corn, and it all gets a pass. Like I said earlier.
If you look at the earth, he's like, look, I don't even need to provide any evidence. If you look at the earth, this much corn, little cow. Like, what is he looking at? Like from an airplane perspective, he's like, no. If you just look at it.
I mean, this is just flat Earth logic, straight up.
He's like, if you just look at it, this much corn, this tiny little cow. It's like, obviously, the cow's the better choice.
It's horrible for the environment. There's semi-trucks transporting this stuff all around. They're going to facilities. There's smokestacks. There's all sorts of pollution. 59,995 products polluting the earth. All of that gets a complete pass.
Whoa, where is that number coming from?
That he's been saying that the whole time. He's just making up a number. 59,900. He's saying that 5 products in the store, beef, chicken, dairy, eggs, he eats, and the rest, the other 59,995 products in the grocery store are plants. He's just making shit up.
Yeah. He's making a documentary and he's crowdfunding for it.
Of course.
Sorry. He's making a documentary and crowdfunding for it. I don't know how much you heard of that. But there are no claims.
Of course.
No evidence for his claims.
Right? Yeah, of course not.
Cows are bad. Why do they have you believe that the cows are bad? Because if they want to sell billions and billions of dollars worth of processed garbage, they just demonize the meat. That's all they have to do.
There is plenty of processed shit with beef in it. Slim Jims are like, that's like a soup. It was beef jerky is like hugely popular.
What the fuck is a Slim Jim?
Oh my God, here we go again. Okay, Slim Jim, do you understand what beef jerky is?
Yeah, it's dried up beef.
Yeah, it's like dried, cured meat. So Slim Jim is a brand. So they come in like these plastic sheets and they're like really thin. It's like really, really processed beef jerky. And it's super popular. Slim Jims, like everyone at some point was eating Slim Jims. So like
proper human diet.
Right. There are every fast food place, the place that feeds millions of people, billions of people every single year. They all are animal based. They're all very heavy on the animal products, burgers, chicken sandwiches, nuggets. They have fries, but the main meals are all burgers. McDonald's, Wendy's, there's pizza, there's dairy, there's meat lovers pizza. Like, what are we talking about?
I mean, it's a meme at this point. It's a vegan meme. Why the fuck is there dairy in this perfectly vegan product otherwise?
Right. It's almost like they find excuses to put animal products in everything and shit that there's... Did you see... So, are you familiar with Nutella?
Yeah.
Nutella came out with vegan.
I'm not that backwards, Alabama, dude. I know what Nutella is.
Okay, I'm just making sure. So Nutella came out with a vegan version, apparently. Why don't they just replace it? Like, there's Nutella, the only animal product in it was like skim milk powder or some kind of milk powder. You just came up with it without it. Just get rid of the original one. Just do it all plant-based. Are you really going to taste the difference? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Hades making the claim that the burger is mostly plants, though.
Not per calorie.
No.
I would say the beef is probably the most calorically dense. The buns are cheap, and you have like lettuce, tomato, which is like almost 0 calories. So, per calorie.
But also, we have fucking health outcomes. People, if you take out the bun out of a burger, your health outcomes are worse. If you take out the burger out of the bun, your health outcomes are better.
But also when it comes to like selling, right? He's arguing that the homesteader is arguing that demonizing meat is how they sell more plants, right? They want to sell processed food. When you see an advertisement for a burger, they're not selling the bun, right? They're not selling you, oh, check out this grade A sesame seed bun, and there just so happens to be beef on there. No, they're selling the triple beef patty, the bacon and beef, the double cheese, whatever it is. They're selling the animal products, right? It just comes in a bun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want to make huge money. The 59,995 products that make up the bulk of the grocery store all have sugar in them, by the way. They want to make a ton of money. You just demonize meat.
Yeah, they add sugar to beef sometimes.
Wait.
To make it taste better.
But now he's saying all of the other products, all the other plants all have sugar? I mean, are you talking about added sugar or talking about carbohydrates? Because there are plants that are very low in carbohydrates, and then there are a lot of plant-based products that don't have any added sugar. So again, he's just making shit up. He's just making things up. Oh my God.
You say meat is bad for the environment, cows are bad for the environment, meat's going to give you cancer. Look at this study. It says meat's going to give you heart disease.
I want to hear. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Look at this study. They will make billions and billions of dollars at the expense of your health.
Yep, there we go.
They will keep you
I just want to hear what he
this.
was going to say about the study. It sounds like he's just dismissing the study as like a cash grab. I was like, oh no, it's all bought and paid for. Don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah. How long do we have, Brendan?
I kind of want to hear. I just want to hear if he has any other points towards the end.
Horrible food, and it's going to lead to this. Billions and billions of dollars spent on pharmaceuticals and billions of dollars spent in healthcare. Big food, big pharma, big healthcare, and the list goes on and on. The other argument, BS, vegan argument I get is, my carnivore diet lacks nutritional diversity. You need to eat all colors of the rainbow.
I mean, you don't need to eat all colors of the rainbow, but the carnivore diet does lack nutrition.
Yeah, I mean, if you put in steak, now again, what he's advocating for, maybe not, because he has chicken, eggs, dairy, whatever. But if you put in just
it's
steak,
gonna lack.
I'm sorry.
It's gonna lack in iron.
No. Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's still gonna lack, but it's gonna be better than just steak. So like the carnivore diet that Sean Baker advocates for, which is just steak. If you put that into a food tracker, you're missing a lot of your essential nutrients. So yeah, I've yet to see this claim of, well, if you eat nothing but steak, you'll never need to take a supplement or you'll never need any other food. I've yet to see that be substantiated.
Oh my God. I put in some carnivores diet. It's my pet peeve. Sometimes I just, if they make the claims on X, I just ask them what do they eat. I put it in a fucking chronometer. And he's like crossing into animal based. So he eats like honey and some fruit a little bit, right? And it still was incredibly deficient in fucking iron, out of all things.
Wow,
in
really?
calcium,
That's crazy.
Yeah, in calcium. Calcium is it's incredibly deficient. He says, I get all my calcium from butter. He kept adding, right? At some point, he got to like about 4,000 calories. Holy shit. So it's all bullshit, basically.
My favorite is that chart. Have you seen that chart where it shows a steak and it has all the vitamins coming from it?
Yeah.
If you look, all of the vitamins, they're like 0.2% of your daily value. They're like vitamin A, vitamin C, and you look, it's like, wait a second, that's 2% of my daily value for a whole steak. How many steaks are you eating? You're going to eat fucking 50 steaks to get all of your vitamin A? That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
Yeah. What else he was deficient in? A bunch of stuff. Zinc. When I added eggs, zinc went up. That's fine.
Okay.
But like important stuff, like vitamin E is sometimes problematic, and vitamin E and vitamin C keep you young.
Yeah, so if I had to guess, I mean, obviously we know fiber, and then vitamin A, vitamin E, probably,
It was incredibly deficient vitamin
C.
A.
Yeah, probably those are like the major ones. If you're not eating organ meats, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to eat more items. To that I say, 500 days I've been eating nothing but beef, butter, bacon, eggs. I'm absolutely
What the fuck does that mean? You can be deficient and be okay for a while.
Right. You have stores of a lot of your essential nutrients. So
Frankly, most people, like a lot, I can't say most, but a lot of people are iron deficient. They live their lives like that.
No, my mom.
I've been iron deficient and living my life like that for a very long time.
My mom was iron deficient for years. We're talking like a decade. And she had symptoms, but she was fine. And now she just gets the shots instead of just taking a vitamin. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, she was vegan. I mean, she was iron deficient for a long time. So you could live with a lot of deficiencies. And also, what's it called? What did he say? Can you rewind it for a second? Like 5 seconds.
that I say, 500 days I've been eating nothing but beef, butter,
500
bacon,
days.
eggs.
Again, if he's losing weight, right? If you do have any deficiency, the weight loss or the change in your health in a positive is probably going to outweigh whatever mild symptoms you may be feeling from any deficiency.
Yeah. I mean, for all we know, you could be deficient in B12.
Yeah,
He doesn't check. He doesn't test.
that's true.
Can we see the tests? Like, all of this could have been saved just by, like, I don't know if I tagged him, but I don't know if he's going to watch it. I'm a tiny channel, right?
He watched mine.
All right. Well, you're less of a tiny channel, but yeah. Homesteader, Carnivore's Homesteader guy. Listen, this is a challenge. Let's compare blood test markers, yeah?
Well, no, you
I have
would
my blood
lose
test
because
from
vegan postmortem, you would lose because your cholesterol's too low. You'd be deficient in cholesterol. That's the problem. He would see your puny cholesterol number and say your testosterone must be way low. So that's the problem. Is clearly you would be deficient in cholesterol.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm so proud. I actually reached 69 in LDL cholesterol.
Oh,
so
nice. That's
for
good.
in more ways than one. All of a sudden, I have a lower LDL than the 21-year-old me. I actually have tests from 21 years old. So 23 years later, I have lower LDL than what I had at the age of 21, 22. I don't know.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely thriving.
Wait,
I've
hold on,
shared them
pause
on my
it.
YouTube channel. I'll share them again. Anybody?
Yeah.
You're 23. You're in your 40s?
I'm 44.
What?
Yeah.
You look great. I thought you were like early 30s.
No.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. Good for you. That's nice.
Yep.
Eat nothing but beef, butter, bacon, eggs. I'm absolutely thriving. I've shared them on my YouTube channel. I'll share them again. Anybody wants to see them?
Oh, the thrive. Show me your test results. Seriously, it's a challenge. Let's compare test results. We'll bring a few doctors in, just in case something is contested or something, right? We'll make an effort out of it. We'll create an event.
All of my medical records, all of my lab work. I am lacking for nothing. My
I want to see the lab work so hard.
Yeah, I would also be curious to see that.
Yeah.
labs are perfect. As I mentioned earlier, I'm down 100 pounds since my heaviest. I no longer have IBS. I no longer have suicidal depression. I no longer have arthritis. I no longer have any of these issues. I'm thriving and I'm not missing anything. And the truth of the matter is, on a vegan diet, there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. On a vegan
Let's compare blood tests. Let's compare the labs. I've been on the vegan diet for 9 years. Apparently, I look in my 30s.
No, you look great. Seriously, I was shocked. I thought you had been like early 30s this whole time or late 20s or something. Seriously. You got no wrinkles. That's good.
No, I have wrinkles. It's good lighting as well.
Well, look, I mean, we'll take the advantage we can get, but still.
Yeah. And once I lose some weight, I would actually look, I don't know, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older. I don't know. The weight tends to plump up.
Oh, kind of fills you out a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah.
diet, you must supplement. On a carnivore diet, you don't need
Yeah. Supplements bring us to, but every fucking study that we have about any dietary deficiency, it doesn't say at the end, eat steak or
Right.
eat dairy. It says, take a fucking supplement, because supplements are better at bringing your vitamin or mineral status to a normal range.
It's the most reliable method we have. Like, why would you rely on something that's less reliable, right? Dietary supplements, first of all, they're called dietary supplements. It's part of your diet. That's like saying, well, modern homes require heating to stay warm. Instead of that, just use a home from 500,000 years ago where they kept warm by pasting mud all over the walls. It's like, okay, yeah, let's just do that. Why? We have the modern technology. We have more reliable ways of getting heat, of getting vitamins and minerals. Why would we not rely on those? That's crazy.
Yeah.
supplement. You get everything you need.
I mean, it's worse than that, right? It's probably the thing of synthetic versus natural. It's like saying, well, I'm cold. Let me wear a coat. Let me skin an animal to remove their skin with their fur to make myself warm. No, we have modern technology for that.
Right.
We have modern coats that are actually providing more heat, more closure, whatever the fuck, right? Just because it's synthetic, it doesn't mean that it's worse.
Yeah.
It's better, like a lot of the time. And it doesn't kill a fucking animal.
100%.
From a fatty ribeye in the proper proportions. All of the nutrients I need to survive. All I've eaten for 500 days, I'm walking proof of that. I didn't need to
Walking proof, my friend.
supplement anything in order to survive. Had I tried to do that on a vegan vegetarian diet, I would be dead right now, 500 days.
Sorry, were you actually on a vegan or vegetarian
Wait,
diet?
500, that's not that long. There have been raw plant-based quacks who are not supplementing, eating nothing but raw fruits and vegetables that make it like 8 years until they finally lose their hair and they're like, okay, I'm eating meat. Like there are plenty of plant-based quacks who make it almost a decade.
Yeah.
Right. All the ex-vegan videos, they're usually around like the 6, 7, 8 year mark. So that's, you're not gonna die, my friend. Even if you ate nothing, you'd probably live a while because you were overweight. So I don't know what you're referring to.
So just to reiterate your point, just to make it like a succinct, even people on the meme bad vegan diet can make it a couple of years,
Yes.
5 years, 10 years, and feel good, feel okay. So it means absolutely fucking nothing that you are on a carnivore diet for 500 days and you feel fantastic and whatever. Supposedly you'll
500 days is nothing. They act
Yeah.
as if it's like, oh, it's such a mile. 500, a year and a half is nothing. People in like when people are starved, like in World War II, they were starved for longer than that. Like we're talking about, like 500 days is nothing.
Yeah. The scary story is that there are people who are alive now. When they were infants, the only nutrition they had was like somebody else's blood.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, like the stories from Ukrainian wars and shit like that. Holy shit. Yeah.
Days later, had I not supplemented. This whole thing, diversity for the sake of diversity. Diversify your diet. Have a well-balanced diet. Have all of these different ingredients just for the sake of it.
I mean, all of those are like just meme things to say anyways, right? And you and I, Brandon, wouldn't say such a thing.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, it's for enjoyment. It's nice to diversify, but like nutritionally, you don't need to eat like such a large variety of stuff.
Yeah. I would say my diet is not incredibly diverse, but I take supplements, so I don't give a shit.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's why I take a multivitamin, so I can eat whatever I want. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
It makes these big food companies billions of dollars. It's absolutely ridiculous that you go on
A balanced diet is a completely meme thing to say anyways. Balance between what and what.
Right. And animal agriculture makes billions of dollars as well on this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And they are the same thing often.
grocery store and there's 100 types of ketchup, and you go down the beverage aisle, there's 1,000 varieties of beverages. You just look at the apple juice. There's 50 different types of apple juice at Walmart.
What's wrong with apple juice?
Also, we're in a capitalistic society. Yeah, these people are going to market different flavors because they know people want to buy it. It's a free market. What do you say? Well, look at the milks. There's tons of different milks. Look at all the meats, the bacons, the deli meats, the cheeses. Like, what are you talking about?
Look at how many cookies contain animal products like eggs and dairy.
Yeah. No, it's really silly. I don't know.
I'd say most of them. I would say like if cookies contain eggs and dairy, it could be. I don't know. I have to check. It could be that by calorie there is more animal products in there than like. Nah, but yeah, probably not. Yeah.
But it could. Yeah, depending on the type of cookie, but probably not.
Yeah. I mean, if it's cookie with like a lot of butter.
Yeah, like a shortbread or something.
By calorie, it's going to be animal based, isn't it?
Right. Animal based.
Why? So they can make billions of dollars and keep us addicted.
Well, because not many people have money to become homesteaders, my dude.
Every species of animal on this planet.
Not many people want to become homesteaders. I love my city life.
Yeah, no, me too.
It's not perfect. There are things that I would like to live like a bit closer to outside of city, like for several reasons. But for the most part, it's incredibly beneficial for me to live in the city.
Has an intended diet and they eat it. A cow eats grass. A lion eats gazelles. A koala bear eats eucalyptus. It's only us humans with our big brains.
Cycle of life, my
I
friend.
feel we have to have this diversity, and we have to moderate and balance. We got to eat a balance in all of these different ingredients, and it's just false. I've only had meat.
I mean, my dude, we have health outcomes, right?
And again, nobody's
I mean,
claiming like
yeah.
you can't be healthy without eating 30 different things every day.
By the way, I would like to raise a question. Is it the healthiest for a cow to eat grass? It could be that, like, if we think about their health outcomes, right?
That's
we
true.
actually think about the welfare, like the well-being, not welfare, the well-being of the animal, right? It could be that grain-fed would be better for their health outcomes.
Yeah, it's hard to know. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good
So
point.
it's just a fucking appeal to nature fallacy.
And animal products for 500 days, my intended proper human diet, ancestrally appropriate diet. I'm absolutely thriving, and you can't say anything if you're
That's true.
You can't say anything.
Well, then your beliefs are, and they are beliefs because they're not based on facts, they're based on a single anecdote. Those beliefs are impermeable.
Right.
There's nothing I can tell you that proves that you are wrong.
That's what I said at the beginning. I said for somebody like this, debunking is kind of a waste of time because they don't care. Like, if somebody already doesn't care about evidence or the truth, then they're not going to care if you debunk them or if you kind of poke holes in their arguments, because they'll just say, don't care. I know my truth, you know?
Yeah.
vegan or vegetarian, you can't say I'm not thriving. I've shown them on my YouTube channel. I can reference them here.
Yes, I can say that if you don't. Well, maybe he does have his lipids and his lab results somewhere. I probably should investigate at some point.
We could dig.
Yeah.
All of my medical records prove I have reversed congestive heart failure. My ejection fraction was 44. It's perfectly normal now. The only thing I did was carnivore.
What does it mean, reverse congestive
There's
heart
been no
failure?
evidence of heart disease reversal. Yeah, he might have improved his symptoms, but you can't reverse heart disease as far as I know. Even on a plant-based diet, the evidence for heart disease reversal is pretty weak. I highly doubt a diet consisting of mostly saturated fat and cholesterol is going to reverse heart disease. So I'd love to see evidence for that.
Yeah. Even diabetes is not like reversible,
Right.
according to my boss. It's you can live well with diabetes, right? Even remission, saying diabetes remission would be problematic. You have diabetes and you have it for your entire life. But if you slim down, you no longer have the problematic effects that are associated with having the active diabetes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But you will always have diabetes. You will always have congestive heart failure. As far as we know, we don't have evidence for that otherwise.
Carnivore diet, proper human diet. All my labs, everything is perfect. So you can't say you have to do this just for the sake of it. That's what they want you to believe. That's what makes big food billions.
They.
Yeah, no, it's all conspiratorial. That's another check mark for carnivore dieters. It's all this conspiracy.
It's a check mark for homesteaders as well.
Yeah, I believe that too. Yeah, it's very conspiracy.
Yeah. Like the language around homesteading is like off-grid, self-sufficient. I know what's in my food. It's all
Billions of dollars is this incessant need from humans to have all of this variety. And I'm special because I have this type of apple juice. I'm special because I eat this type of ketchup. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So those are some of the big arguments against carnivore.
about half of them was straw man.
Half of them, no one has ever. I've never said that. Like these are not good arguments against carnivore diet at all. The best arguments. Notice how he didn't bring up all of the evidence against the carnivore diet. Notice how he didn't bring up any type of meaningful ethical argument. He just brought up the comments that were pretty easy to debunk.
Listen, maybe he transmitted them subconsciously. So
Yeah.
missed it.
He's got a subconscious thing going, but I think
We
that's
don't have carnivore brains, so we could have not picked it up.
right. I think this is it. I'm like, that's crazy. This, again, it's like, it's still bad. I expect something different every time I go into one of these videos, and it either is worse than I expected, or like I'm used to, or it's just the same old stuff, the same old claims that people have talked about, people have debated on, and have debunked. I don't get it.